Heavy might just be one of the most slept on classes in the finals. People like to be the hero on light. Mediums are the ultimate well-rounded class, but Heavy has the ability to be incredibly potent as well. Or if not that, at least it's very fun. If you want to try out Heavy but you just don't know where to start, or if you want to try out something new for your Heavy, then this video is for you. Today, I'll be going over 3 builds for you to use and enjoy on your Heavy class. Let's start off with what I like to call the Get 'em build. You've probably already seen this build or some iteration of it while playing this game around the time this videos come out. It might just be one of the most Season 3 builds out there. It centers around the Winch Claw as your specialization alongside the Spear. I know that Sledgehammer is also a very good alternative to this, but that's not very Season 3 of me, so we're using the Spear for this build. The main idea of this is to grab someone with the Winch Claw and then spear them. A very effective and annoying combination if you're going up against it. The rest of the gadgets in this build are to either trap, redirect, or block people off. This includes the Goo Grenade, Pyro Grenade, and the Anti-Gravity Cube. There is a strategy in and of itself where you trap someone in the goo and then set it on fire. Combine this with the Winch Claw and Spear, and you've got yourself a pretty cohesive build. Just make sure that you don't trap yourself in the goo, especially if it's on fire. I actually ended up changing my keybinds for this combo so that it was easier for me to switch between the goo and the Pyro Grenade, and let me tell you, it's really fun. The Anti-Gravity Cube can also be used to slow people down, because it takes a second for them to escape it. So then, you can again grab them with the Winch Claw and then spear them. I'd say this build is really fun to use. It's also very versatile. You're not forced into using just one strategy, even though on the surface, that's what it's all about. The Goo Grenade and the Pyro Grenade work together very well on their own and as a combo, alongside the Winch Claw and Anti-Gravity Cube, which can lead to some pretty fun cash box shenanigans. It is very popular as of this recording, and hopefully it sticks around. But definitely try it out for yourself. You know, sometimes the finals can be very taxing. You go through loss after loss with no signs of improvement, and you just want to have fun. If that's the case for you right now, this is the build for you. I like to call this the Demo Crew. This includes the Charge and Slam as your specialization, with the Sledgehammer as your weapon. The goal of this build is total and utter destruction of everything in sight. If you have leg issues already, this is not going to help with that. One of the big selling points of the finals is the destructible environments, and so many people choose not to exploit that at every turn. But you know what to do. The gadgets here are anything that goes boom. This includes Explosive Mine, RPG, and C4. The build itself is very simple. Destroy everything. Some finals players are very normal and try to control their environment around them, carefully and meticulously planning their next move. You, on the other hand, you have a different idea. If it can break or explode, the answer is yes. Should I use this ability now? The answer is yes. Should I charge into the enemy with no rhyme, reason, or consideration for my own well-being? Absolutely yes. If there's a wall in the way, break it. If there's a player in the way, make them run away. If a piece of the map so much as looks at you funny, make sure it never sees the light of day again. This is very fun. And if you like being an agent of chaos, this is just for you. But I do have some pointers though. Make sure you don't run out of windows with the Charge and Slam. Only use Heavy Attack on Sledgehammer for demolition purposes. For PvP, use whatever's best in the moment. And C4 takes a second to explode, so don't depend on it. Otherwise, I'm just going to leave this to you to enjoy. Have fun out there. But now we turn to the complete opposite of that build, and what I call the ultimate defense build. I actually got the name and most of the build from a friend of mine, Smunagen, who you've probably seen in some of my other videos. The build itself is pretty simple and very interchangeable. Unlike the other 2 builds, the weapon might be the least important part of it. Run whatever you like best. I've managed to play well with this build with probably every weapon in the game at this point. What matters is the specialization and gadgets. For the specialization, use Mesh Shield. For gadgets, use Dome Shield and Barricade. You can choose between RPG and Goo Grenade, depending on your preference. I like the RPG because it does help a little bit with the offense capabilities of this build. If you run Flamethrower with this, I'd recommend the Goo Grenade because they synergize like the Pyro Grenade and Goo Grenade combo that I mentioned earlier with the first build. Either way, the main stars here are the Mesh Shield and the Dome Shield. Use these to defend yourself and your teammates. You and your teammates can both fire through the Dome Shield and the Mesh Shield, so you can use these on offense as well as defense, especially with the Dome Shield. I like to throw the Dome Shield to start a fight and then move around it so that I'm the only one doing damage to my opponent. If you find some very specific rooms for the cash out, which I did not when recording this video, you can block both doors with barricades, put down a Dome Shield on the cash out, and then bring out your Mesh Shield. It most likely won't stop the enemy for long, but the intimidation factor is through the roof. It really doesn't do much for defense, but I do understand that defense is a hard thing to pull off in the finals. Partly because of people who might have run the last build, but I still stand by its versatility. If you're in a tough spot, the Mesh Shield, Dome Shield, and Barricade can come in clutch, especially while stealing. If someone is taking out your teammate, bringing up the Mesh Shield to defend them, or throwing the Dome Shield over their body from downtown can win you the game. I would also say that if you're teamed up with a medium with a turret, or even two, this is a much more viable build. They can also help you out with defense of the cash out. In fact, I would say that this build relies more on teamwork than the other two, which can be more of a solo build. This build is really used for defending you or your teammates, and being a big support role instead of a damage role on your team. I know that some people don't like playing support, but let me tell you that if you do, you'll probably be welcome on most teams, not just in the finals, but in most games. People like people who are helpful. Should you use that psychology in real life? It's up to you. But anyways, that's all I got. If you liked any of the builds, hit that subscribe button. It is honestly the best way to help out this channel. Thank you all for watching. See you later.